Hello, and happy Tuesday. Wow, it is the last day of the year. It's the last day of a decade. I don't know about you, but that kind of blows my mind knowing that another 10 years has already gone by again. Like, wow, I cannot believe it. Like another 10 years. It is awesome that we're starting a new decade, a new year. I'm like excited for what's coming next. Are you excited for what's coming next? I hope so. This week is all around self-awareness. And today, as you can see, the topic is what you can achieve when you stop looking for the quick fix. You gain clarity. And before I get started, I just want to talk to you a little bit about how essential it is for our emotional well-being to achieve self-awareness around our emotions so that we make better decisions on how we respond when we are triggered based on how we're feeling. And achieving self-awareness means taking time to really getting to know who you are, being open to change because change is inevitable, and embracing that pivoting may be part of the process. In fact, it is also part of the process along with change that we oftentimes resist. Hello, I'm Leslie Godet, and I'm an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness around their emotions so they can handle the triggers, manage their emotions, and live a more positive life. So as I said, this week I wanted to talk to you about self-awareness, which is really important. Before I get started, let me just quickly explain the triggers cycle and what some triggers are. So this is what I call the triggers cycle. It is a cycle that we go through every day, and as you can see in the middle, I've written our cycle on repeat. Yes, it's on repeat, sometimes multiple times a day. So what are triggers? Well, triggers are things that an event and what they do is they evoke an emotion. Once the emotion has been, you have that emotion happen based on what happened, that trigger is going to fuel that emotion even more. And that emotion then in turn is going to drive the response and the things that you say and you do when you are emotionally triggered. Now, typically, those things that we do will give us one of two rewards, a positive reward or a negative reward. So the positive or the negative reward is that typically when we are triggered by something happens, and we just all of a sudden just respond without thinking about it. And it's typically a negative response, meaning someone will get in the crosshairs of that response, someone will get hurt, we'll say something or do something that we oftentimes after we've had time to cool off, we'll have to go back and fix. So that's a negative reward, meaning that the reward you get out of that is guilt, shame, and regret because you feel guilty about hurting someone, shame for how you showed up, and regret for hurting someone, right? So it's really just, that is the reward, the negative. Now the positive reward, because I always like to leave you on a positive reward around this cycle is you have self-awareness around what triggers are, you have self-awareness around your own, so what triggers you, and the emotions that you typically happen when you're triggered. And then that leads you to make better decisions on how you show up and the things that you say and you do, meaning that's your positive reward. So when you have time, when you are that self-aware, you can make a better decision in how you show up. And that keeps you in your present life, right? So you're like, you deal with it, you emotionally deal with it in a mature way, and you have the right mindset in the way you handle it, and then you're able to stay focused and present on what you're doing and able to look forward to what is yet to come. Now, some triggers could be things like the anniversary date of loss or trauma. It could be something happens in the news that's really, scary. It could be family friction. Maybe you've ended a personal or professional relationship. Isolation, overwhelm, could be financial problems. Maybe you've dealt with being judged or criticized or even teased. And those are typically internal triggers because those are things that have happened to us in our life experience. But what happens is triggers have triggers. Yes, that's nasty, right? Okay, but what happens is something external will happen. So it not even have to be related to what's already going on in your life, but something external happens. So something like a person will say or do something, look at you a certain way. It could be a place that reminds you, and that brings that all up again. It could be a sound or even a smell. And so that external trigger will then enhance the emotion you've already been triggered by. And then again, it's being either if you're self-aware and then you have the positive reaction, or you are not self-aware and you have the negative reaction. So that in a nutshell is what this cycle is all about. As I said, we are on it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So with that being said, yesterday I asked you a simple question, which was, what if I told you that there's a magic pill to fix everything? How would you feel about that? Well, there's not, but I got your attention, didn't I? It's human nature to always look for shortcuts, and that's okay with some things, but when it comes to life and things that really truly matter, like your overall emotional well-being, like taking shortcuts or trying to find the quick fix isn't sustainable. Now, I talked about that yesterday in my live, and if you missed it, DM me and I'll send you the link. But today's topic, I wanted to talk to you about one of the things that you can achieve when you stop looking for the quick fix, and that simply is clarity. Clarity is a big deal when it comes to our life. Being clear on our purpose, being clear on things that we do with our life helps us to feel more focused and purposeful and accomplished. So here are some benefits of gaining clarity. And there's a ton, but I found a few that I wanted to share with you. I mean, these are common sense, but I wanted to share this with you. So your priorities become crystal clear, which allows you to set goals and to pursue what you want to do with your life. When you're clear on what you want to do with your life, you will actually set goals. You will set out to achieve and pursue what's important to you. Your purpose and your passion become enhanced because you are clear on what you want. You will know without a doubt that which you want. Being clear in your life will lead to better thoughts. When you have a healthy mindset, positive thoughts, that will help you create a better reality for yourself. With clarity, you'll create better goals. When you create better goals, you're more likely to pursue and achieve them. With clarity, you'll learn to say yes to the right things that serve your purpose. Now, as I said, I could go on and on because there are many benefits to gaining clarity, but I'm going to instead give you 4 steps you can take starting today to put yourself on a clearer path, getting to that path to clarity, okay? So number 1, really important, clear the clutter. Yeah, this is number 1 because I felt that this was the number 1 thing to help you with clarity. If your home or your workspace, they're cluttered or messy, you're going to feel overwhelmed and feel like you can't think. Brain fog, I get that piece. So much is going on up here, and the visual mess isn't helping. It's hard to be productive at work or feel at ease in your home when everything feels and looks chaotic. So here's what I want you to do. Clear the clutter. That's number 1. Organize, clean it up, reset your workspace and home if needed at least once a week. This one truly resonated with me because when I do this simple task, it helps my mind feel more at ease and I'm able to focus better. So clear the clutter, that's number 1. Number 2, identify what's important. So this one is about finding joy in your life, in particular what you do for work. So take a few minutes and write down what you're passionate about when it comes to your job, like what you do. No more than 3 sentences, but get specific about it. So that's going to make you actually really hone in and really think about it. We all had a passion when we all started doing that one thing in our life that we're doing, our career path. There was something about that made us so passionate to get on that path. So this little reminder will help you when you're not particularly feeling it at work right now. Thing is, we sometimes will think that it's our job that we don't like, but it's usually about our mindset, which is often driven by our emotions. And so we oftentimes will lose our passion about our job, what we do, and think we need a change of scenery, a new job, a new career path, when it's really just a tweak in our mindset that will help. So remind yourself what you are passionate about when it comes to what you do, what your job is. It will help encourage a positive mindset, and mindset is a key piece in navigating this cycle. Number 3, eliminate electronic distractions. This one is so important to your peace of mind. If you're working on something and you really need to focus, the last thing you need is your phone dinging with email and Facebook and DMs and Instagram. Because you just it takes your mind, you just completely stop. So here's what I want you to do. Silence your phone when you have something really important, a task that you need, a task that you want, or you have to complete it. You have to complete it well. Because there's no point in doing something if you don't do it well, and then you have to turn around and go back and fix something. Now, I recently read a quote that said, quote, "A study by the University of California found that it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get yourself back on track after being interrupted. This means that even if you're lucky enough to get distracted only a few times a day, you could lose an hour of work. Like, wow, that resonates. Think about it. We have our phones. Our phones are typically, what are they doing? Right by our side, attached to the hip. And so if you have it on and it's always dinging or flashing, if you can see it flashing, turn it over. Put it on silence when you have to do something important. This will help keep you on track to complete your goal or goals that you've set. And you'll feel happier once that's done because you'll have accomplished what you set out to do. Number 4, this is a big one. Always challenge your nevers. Yeah, we all have a bunch of those. What if the things that we say we don't want are really what we want most, but because we're afraid to get hurt or fail or expose ourselves to possibly getting disappointed in ourselves, we keep those desires in a file that we call never. As soon as you say to yourself, you're letting your inner villain tell you your truth. As soon as you say to yourself, by simply starting your sentence with, I could never do that, or I could never accomplish this, or I couldn't do without this, you're basically saying that you couldn't ever. So here's what I want you to do. Challenge your nevers, because they're usually the things that fear will stop us from doing because we think we're not worthy or good enough or capable. Your nevers are usually exactly what you need to do in order to gain absolute clarity. Being and feeling effortless when it comes to being confident in what you're doing comes with amazing benefits. And absolute clarity is at the top of that list. With clarity, you know what your body needs, you know what your heart wants, and you're clear on how to get it, whatever that may be for you. So to recap, number 1, clear the clutter. Messiness, visual, especially messiness can mess with your mindset. So clear the clutter, that's number 1. Number 2, identify what's important. Remind yourself why you are passionate about what you do for a living and get your mindset right. Sometimes a change of scenery isn't what we need, and what we really need is just a tweak in our mindset. Dealing with this is hard. And if that's what's driving you to think that you need a career path change and you really love what you do, maybe this is the piece you really need to look at. Number 3, eliminate electronic distractions, because again, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get yourself back on track after being interrupted. And that means that even if you only get distracted a few times a day, you could lose an hour of being productive. So imagine if you've got something really important that you want to accomplish, but this little baby joined at the hip, you see it, you've got it on, so you hear it dinging, you see it flashing, it's telling you you've got messages, you get distracted, and you have to start over, get yourself back into it. Number 4, always challenge your nevers. Fear is waiting in the wings to stop you from stepping into your own greatness. Remember that. Your nevers could be the breakthrough that you have been waiting for to move the needle forward. So 1, clear the clutter. 2, identify what's important. 3, eliminate electronic distractions. And number 4, always challenge your nevers so that you can gain clarity, so you can start getting that needle moving forward, so you can have that life that you want to live. Now, with all of that being said, I just want to quickly remind you that today is not only the last day of the year, but it's the last day of a decade. And tomorrow we hit reset, starting a whole new year and a whole new decade. And maybe, just maybe you're sitting on the fence of your life because you're dealing with this cycle and are on a perpetual hamster wheel, and you're having difficulty in figuring out a plan to move yourself forward. If that's you, I want you to know I created a program built specifically for this, to tackle this, and it may be just what you're looking for to move your needle forward, so that your emotions don't drive you and keep you off track of being the best version of you, of living that life you want to live. So you can, gaining clarity, being focused and clear on your purpose. If you're ready for change, if you're ready for more and want to be an active participant in your life, moving your needle forward with clarity, focus, and purpose, then click on the link in the title notes and let's set up a call to see if you are right for the program. I hope that you say yes to you, because time waits for no one and will not wait for you to decide. And if you're still on the fence about the rest of your life and what you will do for you to reach your next level, it could be that you're looking for that quick fix, which isn't sustainable. Or maybe you are allowing fear to be your master. But are you willing to allow yourself to stay chained to this piece, to your emotions that are managing you, keeping you a slave because of your fears? Fear of the unknown, fear that you're not worthy or capable or good enough, and so you let fear talk you out of living your best life? You can have a better life if you start believing in yourself. It's your choice to decide. So if you said, I choose me, then click on the link and let's see where this can go. The call's free, and you will come away with some knowledge about you and your journey, and if you are ready for the program or not. So I ask you, are you ready? It's up to you to decide. Do you want confidence? Do you want clarity, focus, and purpose? Do you want to be able to spot and handle your own triggers and manage them so that they no longer are your master? Because that's possible for you. So is it inner villain or inner hero? It's time for you to make a decision. Thanks so much for watching, whether you're on here live or watching it back. I truly appreciate your support. Remember to navigate your day with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, it will put you in the right mindset for when life happens. And it will. I'm Leslie Gaudet, and I'm an empowerment coach. I help my clients achieve self-awareness around their emotions so that they can handle their triggers, manage their emotions, and live a more positive life. I'll put in the notes in the comments below the 4 tips that I gave you today. I hope that you have an amazing day. I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.